Shalom, shalom. Just making sure this is all good here. All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And, all right, the title of this lesson is These Next Major Events Just Might Be It. And what I mean by these next major events, is saying this with caution. I came across an article here from Zero Hedge, and it's on my my computer, so I'll read it and you can hear it. But as of late, okay, we've been hearing a lot about this, especially, well, to me, especially this year, there's been a lot of talk about 9/11 and 9/11 Memorial, and then also at the same time, there's been a lot of talk about ISIS-K and potential terrorists, and them saying that a lot of the Afghan migrants that they brought in here were on the terror watch list. So, of course, we say it every now and then. We got to watch out because they might potentially do something. Now, 9/11, I believe the 11th is on Saturday, this week. Okay, the brother said this is the 20th year anniversary. So, who knows? They might do something. And the reason I say that is because whenever these devils, it's like, in a sense, they almost telegraph their moves before they do it. Because now, whenever they come and warn, you hear this phrase a lot, experts, right? It's always experts warn, or scientists warn, or experts caution. And whenever they do that, there's a chance that whatever it is they're warning about, it's about to happen. Okay, and they know that when they do things like that, people are not going to see it as, oh, they set it up. No, they're going to see it as, oh yeah, they did warn us of this, right? So this article, the title says here, experts warn ISIS-K planning to exploit refugee wave to send terrorists to the West. Okay, and this was published September 8th, which is today. And as it says here, experts are warning that ISIS-K is preparing to exploit the refugee wave created by the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan to infiltrate terrorists into the West in a repeat of what happened following the previous migrant surge in 2015. And yeah, Khan, he's going to be announcing his plan to stop that tomorrow as well. Now, they're saying that they're planning to exploit whatever the case may be, but chances are they already did, right? They already did, and they could do something, So it's just we're cautioning to be circumspect and to watch, because remember, one of the main things that these devils have wanted and still want is to take down America, mainly your Constitution, which is why recently they've put on the website, when you go to try and read the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or the amendments, they put a caution ahead saying, oh, caution, this has harmful language, and so on and so forth. And people were getting pissed off about that, saying, what do you mean? When did they put this label here? What are you talking about? Harmful content on your Constitution and so on and so forth. All right, but prepare to lose that, because that's what they want. These devils, that's the one thing standing in their way, which is to get that Constitution out so that they can do whatever they please here. All right. So is it possible that they could set up an event, okay, which is so drastic that they declare a state of emergency in the midst of a state of emergency? Yes, it is possible. Will they do exactly this? We don't know. We have to watch and see. But a part of watching is, well, when you see something that looks like potential danger, you alert, okay? And you warn, to prepare the minds of everybody else to stay ready and to stay alert. All right, so it says here, The article goes on and it says, while authorities are attempting to vet the thousands of Afghans entering Western countries by holding them in interim countries like the UAE while checks are performed, many don't have identity papers or have faked them. And keep in mind, if they, when they do set up these next major things, it's not going to be small events. All right. They want to go big. They want something very drastic. Now, 9/11 was, they took down what, the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, as they call them. Those are like, in a few buildings, but that was sort of in that one area. And they had the whole US, the whole world was up in a panic about, oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh goodness. So imagine if they went after multiple places. They hit here, then they hit here, then they hit here, then they hit here, then they hit another country, then they hit this country. What you think is going to happen? Man, they're going to shut everything down so hard. Now, it says here, it is to be expected that Al-Qaeda or Daesh-based Afghanistan would have tried and have some of their members obtain access into the flights leaving Afghanistan to Europe, and the counterterrorism authorities will be aware of this. Yeah, sure they will, said David Lowe, a senior research fellow at the Leeds Beckett University Law School and head of a consultancy business in terrorism and security. And once again, that notion, terrorism, terrorist attacks, terrorist this, it's sounding more and more. The DHS is warning of these ISIS terrorists, but also of domestic terrorists. All right, and now they're basically painting anybody that's against their guidelines in that light of being a homegrown or domestic terrorist. And now they're warning about this. And once again, just the same way, whenever a new variant is going to come out, they come and say experts warn of a potential new variant that could do this, that could emerge in the future. And then a couple weeks later, a couple days later, you have Mu, or you have this, or you have that, or you have Delta. So you shouldn't be shocked if when they come out and they throw out these warnings, they then do it, because that's pretty much what they do all the time. All right. So it says, however, according to the counterterrorism expert David Otto, determined jihadists could still slip through the net, and there is little that is being done to protect Europe from ISIS-K sleeper cells. Okay? See, now look at the terms they're using. Now let's look up sleeper cell, because they just might have slipped a few in here as well. Remember, when they set up fake incidents, I'll put it like that, so I don't use that word. When they set up fake incidents, it's them. It's them orchestrating it, making it look as realistic as possible. Okay, so when it comes to the how did they slip past the defenses and get through all the high technology and the CIA and the FBI, they got all this technology. How did these guys slip through? Well, that part was easy. They were let through because it's a part of the plan. All right. So it's not about how tight the security is. No, it's just about making it sound, them on their part, making it sound as natural and realistic as possible. Okay, now it says the definition for sleeper cell is a secretive group of spies or terrorist agents that remain inactive within a target population until ordered to act. So you could have certain people that slipped in as innocent civilians. Oh my gosh, please, my baby. Oh, please, no, let's go. And then they get on the plane. They get here. They go. They done got a lot of these. There's a lot of them already here. They brought them in. Oh yeah, you guys don't worry. Oh, thank you so much. And then they act like they're just part of the regular population. And then you sit there and you wonder. You say, hold on one second. Why are they making it so easy for them to come in? When you think about when this Sicky Vicky first broke out, the first thing they should have done was blocked all the borders and stopped anybody from coming in. But then you sit down and say, wait, so why did these dumbasses let people in the country again? And then take them to some base in Washington. Did you not think it would be safer to not let anybody in the country as opposed to letting them in here and trying to treat them? But anyway, sleeper cells. So they're now warning of sleeper cells. It says here, Europe and the West. And when you think about it, it's not that these people don't know. Okay, because remember, they're intelligent. And if they really wanted to stop these things, they would have, man, they would have stopped it so fast before it even begun. All right. But for it to slip through their hands, it didn't slip. They let it fall. All right. Because even an average individual would have said, yo, hold on. Common sense says, let's do this instead. So how is it that your CIA, your intelligence didn't see that coming? Because they did. So it says Europe and the West are at high risk of terrorist attack from individuals who have sneaked themselves into the country posing as affiliated to the U.S., said Otto. You hear that? Now, you sit back and think, this is all very interesting. How all of a sudden Biden wants to withdraw troops from Afghanistan. All of a sudden, the second he does that, the Afghans take over, right? The Taliban take over. Then all of a sudden they give a deadline, and then now all these different countries are flying in there saying, oh, we're going to start evacuating you people and taking you people out of here and bringing you back to our countries. And then all of a sudden you're warning of potential terrorists. This seems very seamless. And shalom, shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barakatam to you all, to you elders, you brothers, and you sisters watching. All right, so this seems very seamless. Whoa, this happened, then it just so led to this, which just so led to this, and now you're in the perfect position to say, oh, oops, we might have some terrorists among us. You know, we might have some sleeper cells among us. Now, why would they go through the trouble of announcing all of this, going into all these details, and then it just let it slide? Remember, you never let a good crisis go to waste, and you never let a good opportunity for a good crisis go to waste. All right, so it says here, Dr. Jazim Mohammed, head of the European Center for Counterterrorism and Intelligence Studies in Bonn, also pointed out that even if an individual is determined to be a threat, countries such as Germany are forbidden by law from sending them back to Afghanistan. Wow, the perfect setup. Now, as a country, if you know that you're forbidden by law to do this, why would you be so quick to bring them in the first place? Did it never occur to you and cross your mind to say, wait, hold on, if we bring them in and they are potentially dangerous, then we can't really send them back. So let's really think through this. But it seemed like everything was rushed, so you don't really get a chance to think. And this guy Biden, man, this guy he's beyond through. He's gonna go down as the worst president because of the debauchery, or I shouldn't even say that, the horrible job that he has done. And more is gonna come out. It's just gonna get worse. It's gonna be like this one thing that just keeps unfolding into worse and worse and worse things. And you people who voted him in, oh, Biden, please come save us. What you need to understand is the more the further time goes, the worse things get. So you voted this guy in. Did you think he was gonna reverse prophecy? Did you think he was just gonna make everything good again? No. It says dangerous persons may be suspected. Salakia, dangerous persons may be subjected to supervision. Yeah, God, he's terrible, but he's needed. You know, so there's a reason he's put in there. You know, we always say, look, this guy, if he was going up against somebody decent, this guy would not be in office. But they needed to put this old ass dude in there. So what better way than to set up somebody so bad that when you go to the election and you ask people, what is Biden pushing that you're really interested in? They don't know. The only thing that, oh, well, look, hey, he's better than Trump. You know what I'm saying? Oh, get Trump out of here. So that's the perfect door. This guy just walks on in there. He's falling asleep in the midst of conferences or, you know, interviews and all of these things. This guy's not even aware of where he's at. This place is so through, man. But you know what? This is a beautiful thing. And it is, because, look, he's going to bring prophecy to come to pass, so be it. That was our attitude during this whole election thing. We said, look, whether it's Trump or this guy, whoever is going to bring prophecy to come to pass, we are with it. We have absolutely no problem with that because we're not involved in this. We in the back seat and we watching the movie unfold. You got people going crazy, losing their minds. But it says here, dangerous persons may be subjected to supervision, but none of them will be imprisoned. And residency status remain temporary or limited. said Muhammad. So you could suspect somebody who's a threat, but you could watch them, but you can't imprison them. It says one can only rely on documents and previous records, said Otto. With the collapse of the Afghanistan government, there has been concerns of people faking documents to make it through. This is one of the reasons the U.S. has taken steps to process individuals from third-party countries to control the risk. Despite these measures, groups like ISIS-K and Al-Qaeda will encourage its sympathizers to beat the system. So all of a sudden, whoa, you had supporters of ISIS-K in the U.S. already. Then you had some of these that were slipping through the process and coming into the U.S. And it would be very, very interesting because you, like I said, you already have this whole situation with the Sicky Vicky going on. But now to add on to that, if you set up a major multinational attack by the same group, that's going to be more than enough ammo for them to completely lock it down. Put the truth, because we've been noticing a lot of military equipment, a lot of military troops movement, but you don't see any action. You just see a lot of movement. Humvees, tanks going here. Certain neighborhoods, they got black light set here. They got so much preparation and movements, but you don't see anything yet. But if you're wise, you'll say, hold on, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. You'll say, wait, hold on. They're doing all this movement as they're preparing for something. All right, they're preparing for something. And trust and believe, these elites, though they move with gradualism, they're very impatient, at heart. They want this thing. They want it bad. That's why they set dates for these events. Okay, they have Agenda 21. And as we approach the fall seasons, there's a lot of high satanic holy days for these devils where they do require large sacrifices. So once again, we have to keep our eyes open and watch. All right, they got these mandates going on. They got these foreshadowing these events going on. So we have to keep our eyes very, very, very open and circumspect. Okay? So, let's see. It says here, following the previous refugee crisis, when over 1 million, mostly economic migrants entered Europe, ISIS bragged about how it had exploited porous borders to sneak jihadists into the West. This led directly to multiple mass casualty terror attacks, including the Paris massacre. Okay, so they're telling you the last time something like this happened, it led to this. So this time that it's happening, don't be surprised, because it could lead to something worse. Now it says the Manchester area bomber, the Manchester arena bomber Salman Abedi was also rescued from Libya as a refugee by the British Royal Navy. As we probably highlighted, observers are expecting large numbers of people to continue to leave Afghanistan, with one diplomat warning not even tanks can stop them. Okay? And sometimes the way these devils work is they do so much. They do so many different things that if you're not watching closely, you'll be thrown off. Because they'll do one thing here to get your attention here when they're watching, when they're setting something up over here. And then the second you look over here, they continue what they're doing over here, and then they link it back here. And then some way, somehow, some shit goes down, and you're looking in the wrong direction. Okay, because they do so much. They may set up one thing, then they may switch it up a bit, then they may go back to it, and they're constantly trying to throw people off the trail. But the problem is you can't shake us. Everywhere you go, we're watching. You know why? Because we know your end goal. If we know your destination, we don't need to chase you. We just got to wait for you. And that's what we're doing. We're watching and we're waiting. We're not chasing you. We don't need to chase you. Because we know where you're going to come. You know where you're going to come. So we're going to stay right here and we're going to wait for you. All right. Now it says, a report by the Center for Strategic and International Studies also warned that the 2021 Afghan refugee crisis could make the Whoa. Hold up, let me read that again. The 2021 Afghan refugee crisis could make the 2015 refugee crisis look like a geopolitical walk in the park in comparison. And one thing you always got to pay attention to is the words, how these devils say these things and what they say. All right. They foreshadow a lot of the things they do in their speeches and their interviews and the words they say. But it just goes over people's heads. It just completely goes over their heads. Well, what do you mean that Afghan? What are you saying now? Because we know what the 2015 crisis was like, and it wasn't so good. And it wasn't just a matter of just getting refugees, but you paid consequences as a result. So if you're saying that the 2021 is gonna make that one look like a walk in the park, then are you implying that the consequences of this is gonna be far greater than that? It says over 1,000 boat migrants arrived in England yesterday alone, many of whom originated in Afghanistan. It says while the media laboriously focuses on the odd baby or child who arrives with the group, the vast majority of arrivals continue to be fighting age young men. So so it's almost like all the red flags are going off. They're of the right age, you know what I mean? They're slipping right through. Let's see. Nobody knows who they are. Most of them don't have papers, and they are just allowed into the country and put up at taxpayer expense in 4-star hotels. So they just you got no papers. We don't know who you are, but no, come on into the country and we're gonna put you in a nice a nice 4-star hotel. Think about that. And then this man leaves his hotel, and when the signal is given to him, however way it is, and he's like, oh yeah, cool, and he goes to maybe a nice crowded area, maybe a area that's just been reopened, you know, and he goes and does something crazy, but at the same time, you got somebody else doing something crazy in another city, that they're doing coordinated attacks. Then you wonder why. These devils, they're not slick, but then again, they're slick. All right. And if you have the eyes to see, you'll know. Let's see. Once saw a photographer in Dover put his camera down and walk away while a load of migrants were coming in. I asked why he wasn't photographing it. He told me they're all men. The papers only buy the pictures if they are women or children on board. You hear that? Dude stopped taking the pictures because he remember, they want to sell a specific narrative. He wants pictures of women and children. Why? Because think about it. If you are somebody that's maybe skeptical about allowing these migrants into the country, but in the articles you're reading and the news clippings they're showing is women and children, you might just be like, yo, you know what? That is women and children. I guess even if they are migrants and, you know, with refugees and we're not really sure about them, it is women and children. Let's give them somewhere to stay. But then in reality, it ain't majority women and children. You got these grown ass men of perfect ages to do these things coming all in. But you don't know that because the article you're reading is showing pictures of women and children. Because the photographer and the journalists are only trying to get pieces on that. You got to keep in mind, these articles, they go through an editing process. And those editors and their chiefs tell them, you got to get this for us. And if you don't, it's not going up. Your story's not being published. So you have to get something that fits the narrative of the orders we've been given. And unless you do that, hey, you know, so you're not really getting the full truth. You may get some truth, but that's also why these social media platforms are getting very censorship heavy, because a lot of the truth is coming out on social media. So now they can't filter it the same way they filter these mainstream media outlets. So then they now need to censor it and say, we're going to block it from going up. We're going to strike your channel down. All right. We're going to fine you. But yeah, so that's pretty much it on this article here. But I got a few precepts here, and I wanted to just bring this out because once again, there's been a lot of talks about 9/11. Now, I'm not saying that something is going to happen on 9/11. I don't know that. Okay. But could something happen? Yes. Could something happen after? Could something happen before? Yes, it most definitely can. So our job, knowing that things are only going to get worse and worse and worse, that means that this is a very big possibility. All right. It's not out the picture for them to do something like this, especially when they're warning about it. Okay. That's the key part. Whenever whenever you see that experts warn, you need to be on alert and look at what they're saying and read it. Okay. Because they're definitely preparing for something big in one way or another. Because each major event that happens is momentum for them to push forward and push some result. When you look at this whole pandemic, it was never really about the pandemic. It was about what they would get out of it. Okay? It was about the result. And look at the result. This is like throw you from the old normal to the new normal. Throw a pandemic in the middle. All right? Now you want to go from this way to a complete lockdown police state? Well, throw a terrorist attack in the middle. Do something, okay, that's going to push and tilt and give you the perfect ammo in order to bring your draconian laws, because we know they will bring draconian laws. They're doing it now. All right? They're doing it in the health, and now they're going to do it in the physical. But we know that it's going to get bad because the scriptures are not exaggerating when they mention a time like never before. So you've had 9/11, but if you have, blocks, cities, areas, things going off and places being leveled, that's going to rival that in a whole nother light. All right. Now, this is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. And we bring this out pretty much all the time, but there's a reason we bring it out all the time. That's right. GMS Tazaka Yehuda Qui Bono. All right. Or Qui Bono, however it's said. I always get it mixed up, but I believe it's who benefits. Okay. So when all these things happen, that's the thing you got to ask. Who benefits? It ain't us. And if it ain't us, then it got to be somebody else. So 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. This is why wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times. Right now, if some big ass blast was to go on and they was to, come on the news and throw these emergency broadcast alert systems like, oh my gosh, and you can just imagine it. Something happens downtown or in DC or somewhere, and then they let this emergency broadcast off. You're gonna start hearing, oh my gosh, this just happened here. We're not sure how many there are or where they are, but there's chances that they've infiltrated the US and they could be anywhere. So yada yada yada. And that's a whole narrative right there. They're not letting that go. That's a whole narrative right there. And they finna work with that. But we have wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So if they were to say, oh, do this or do that, we would know what to do and what not to do. A lot of people, when this thing goes down, are going to have absolutely no clue, not one, of what to do. Because they've constantly been watching these guys telling them and eating up that propaganda. And some of them don't even watch news. They don't watch any of that. They into folly and worried about, stupid, ridiculous things that don't really matter. Okay. So when this thing goes down, it's almost like they were knocked out. They were asleep, and they just woke up. Oh shit, what's going on? What's happening? Who's who? And that's not going to be the time for asking those kind of questions. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to know what's going on. All right. You have to be tuned in. But as it says here, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. We are not ignorant of the fact that these devils can do something like this. And we're not ignorant of the fact that they most likely will do something. So we're really watching and waiting, because we know that it's within these devils' full capability to do something like this or much worse. Because one way or another, in their minds, they're like, we will get our new world order. And remember, these devils have deception and they have the sword. And when they use the sword, they get very, very, very violent. Okay, they get real, real violent. And that right now, they're at the point where they're about to use the sword. And the Lord is going to put the spirit on them to go full force and be like madmen, sparing none. All right, whether you're a woman or a child. And when those soldiers come in here, amongst every army, you have those that are focused on just a mission, like robots. And then you have those that are like, yo, we out here, but if I see some ass, I'm getting some ass. I'm going to put my gun down and I'm going to deal with this real quick. You always have those in there. Okay? So when you have, when shit gets wild, they're going to be the authorities. They're going to be the ones with the power. They're going to be the ones handing out public executions, amongst many other things. Because once America's on its last legs, and once they knock that last, man, really America's on crutches. And when they about to just hit those crutches out, and this place falls, and it's gonna fall hard. And as it's falling, man, you're gonna see things you've never seen before. Because it is gonna be brutal out here in these streets. All right. Now, this is Revelation 12:12. And it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. And also keep in mind, this is a worldwide agenda. All right. So that's why they're not warning of just America. They're warning of the European countries as well. It says, for the devil is come down onto you having great wrath. So the devil, meaning deceiver, is coming down onto you having great wrath. So not only is he coming with violence, he's coming with deception in his violence. It says, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That's why they're moving so fast. Now, with how fast they're moving, let's see how what tone are they going to set come time for these mandates to be enforced. Because remember, you have the announcements, but you have the enforcements. And when the enforcements come, you need to establish yourself as the authority. Or else you have certain rules that are set in place now, but people don't really follow it. You know, certain laws that people try to find a way to go around. So let's see what level they set these mandates on in terms of enforcement. Okay, are they going to go, you know, full on harsh? Are they going to do some France style, chase you in the mall and beat your ass with batons? Or, you know, what are they going to do? We got to watch and see. But if they, you know, they could start it one way and they say, well, people are not complying, so now we got to up it and do it this way. Oh, people are still not trying to, then now we got to take it up a notch. Because once again, gradualism. All right. But we know, man, that these devils are definitely coming with something, you know, so we got to stay in the spirit and, hey, stay in prayer, you know, pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to keep us in the loop and to keep us on point. Okay. This is GMS Tazakai Yahweh, Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his mouth, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And yes, and he cannot pass his bounds, but before he hits that bound, it's going to be hell on earth. All right, it's going to be hell on earth. And yes, it will start with Esau and his violence, his troops, his orchestrated madness. But the Lord is going to take it up a notch into the spiritual. All right, and you will have demons and death angels and natural disasters and things happening at the same time. Okay, so prepare, man, and pray. Okay, prayer is going to be very important because that's our link and our connection to our lifeline, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, this is GMS Australia 144, 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, and that's what we're doing. We're measuring the time diligently in itself. So when we see these articles, we know, all right, these devils are planning to lock things down. They're planning to suspend the Constitution. They want to declare martial law. They need chaos. So if that's their goal, and now they're talking about a potential chance for chaos, they might try to do something with this. So let's put that on blast. You know what I'm saying? Let's warn the sheep about this. Okay? And constantly watching and measuring, because anything that comes out will lead to something. And if you know what it's going to lead to, you need to warn. Because when the information comes out between when the event takes place, there's a small little window of warning in between. All right? And right now, that small little window is getting smaller and smaller, and we're pretty much at the point where it's closing. Because after these next few weeks and next few months, you don't get to go back. All right? Once they step and they throw you in that pool, you're not coming back. All right? The grocery store that you go, if it's your last week going there, you better buy as much as you can. Because once they set it up, you are not going back in that store. That mandate will not be undone. Okay? That means that if they say, hey, no more gym for you, I got a message. I got a message from my gym. They sent a nice email. They said, look, sir, you better come with some proof come the 13th, or consider talking to cancellation and, you know, start canceling that membership. Because you're not coming, you ain't coming in here. All right, so that's it. You're not coming in here. What other way? Am I going to go tell them a sob story? You know, they're not going to accept anything but what they require. So that's where there's no coming back from. And as they keep upping it up, like this ugly ass goat de Blasio said, they're going to keep going up the ladder. As they keep doing that, guess what's going to happen? They're going to bring it to they're going to go from things that you want to do and then things that you need to do to the essentials. Okay? And that's when people are going to say, look, man, I could live without a job. I could manage that. I don't got to go to the physical gym. I could walk, I could run, I could jog, I could do something. But when you say that I can't buy food for my family, and I can't take my daughter to the hospital, and I can't buy medication from the pharmacy for my son, now you're bugging out. Now I'm going to do something about this. And we don't got to be the ones doing something about it, because trust and believe, we're not going to be the only ones in this predicament. And the Lord is going to put the Spirit on certain individuals in this predicament, and that's where you get 2 Ezra 15. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. How do you regard your kings or princes? By following what they say. So these people are not going to do that. And what? The course of their action shall stand in their power. You want to know a perfect example of sedition? The government says this is what you got to do. You say, F that. I ain't doing that. I'm coming against that. I'm uprising against that. You're saying I can't go to the supermarket without this? I'm going to stampede it. We're gonna rush in it. We're going to set it on fire. We're going to just go wild until you break or until something happens to us. And they're not going to be obeying these mandates. People are going to come against these things. People are going to say, look, we're not following these things. This is ridiculous. I don't have to do this. And you have people in the Senate. You got people in these politicians that are in that same mindset, not just the average civilians. So you best believe that there's going to be a nice major civil war. As the scriptures talk about, one nation or one people shall stand up to fight against another. And then the key part says, with what? With swords in their hands, which means that it's going to be violent. Because if one person is going up against another and they got a sword, which a modern day sword is a gun, and he fires it off, he's going to fire it off. If he fires it off, they're going to fire it off. And then it's going to go back and forth. And very soon, just people just shooting it out in the streets is going to be casual. And it's all orchestrated. First and foremost by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, but through Esau Edom. If you can see, they're setting up the purge systematically. In a legal way. They're setting up the purge. Okay? That's what they're doing. And as this ain't going to be a 12-hour purge. All right? Like that movie Forever Purge. All right? So, yeah, it's going to get dangerous out here, man. But, yeah, let me read this real quick and then I'll end it here. This is salvation of the elect. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Why is somebody going to have to invade somebody else? Think about it. Do you think the average individual just says, I just want to go invade somebody. I just want to go up into somebody's crib. But what reason would somebody have to break into, when somebody breaks into into another person's house, or they break into a store? Why do you think they do that? Desperation. They need something. Something is driving you to break into the next man's house. And you know, when you're going in there, chances are they're going armed. They're going with something. Have you ever seen a robber that goes into a bank without any weapons? Maybe there might have been an event here and there, but they always go with weapons because they need leverage. They're like, look, if I go up into this bank, I'm breaking into this place. I need something to cover me. So as it says, invading one another, they're not going to just invade you. They're going to come with, if they can get a bat, a chain, a gun, whatever they can get, they're coming. All right. And a lot of Jake is going to start, they're going to start banding up, and they're going to come straight to Esau's neighborhoods. They're going to come to those nice neighborhoods. Because they're going to be like, look, man, we all in the hood. If I don't got it, chances are you probably don't got it. So let's go to places where we suspect they'll have it first. And then if we don't get it there, then, all right, I guess we coming back and but guess what? You going to go up there, and you think these nice-ass Edomites, right? Oh, yeah, they drive nice cars. He's all scrawny and, you know, quiet, and he wears a suit and all that. You going to come there, and this dude going to have a shotgun and an automated robot with a freaking automatic gun on it on his lawn, waiting for your ass. Because once they hear of one report, two reports of, you know, houses being broken into, people getting shot, people getting robbed, they're going to be ready. They're going to go to their basement, pull out that big-ass shotgun, throw one to his 2-year-old daughter and his 7-year-old son, and they're going to be right there. Somebody going to have a sniper on the roof. These devils, man, a lot of them are ready. They bought a lot of guns. That's their go-to. All right? So there will be a lot of bloodshed. But let's finish this precept. 2 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to care what these governors and politicians have to say. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. That's the purge. You do whatever you want. The course of your action is what you do, and it's going to stand in your power. It's not going to be dictated by another's. All right, and people are going to be afraid. Men are going to be afraid, and women are going to be afraid, because it will be a scary time, man. If you're in your house and you just constantly hearing gunshots, screams. All right, I think this connection is starting to play around a bit. But anyway, let me just finish it off. These fire trucks, you know, they stop coming. These police sirens, they stop, you know, coming, and things just get bad out here, man. Okay, so there was one more precept that I wanted to read before I close it out. This is GMS Tazakah Yahawada, 2nd Ezra 6 and 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall sit still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So you're going to have a lot of violence. You're going to have droughts. You're going to have famines. You're going to have inflation, hyperinflation. Okay, you're going to have shortages. And it's going to be chaotic out here, man. If you were to throw an attack up in that, through. All right, finished. This is GMS Tazakah Yahawada, 2nd Ezra 13:31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and ultimately one realm against another. But you know what? Fear not, because we got the ultimate power. We got overkill. You know, we got overkill, because they could fight each other, have an even match, shoot it out. But the second they try to come after us, it's going to be overkill. Because it's not going to be of us. We got a standard. We got security already. We got maximum security, you know. All right, that comes from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so put your trust and your faith in the Lord and watch him work, man. Let the Lord work. Allow the Lord to work, because he is going to work a work in our day that is going to be so unbelievable yet believable. All right, so just have faith in the Lord, man, because he's setting all this up to give us a great deliverance. But we have to believe that, and we got to let the Lord do his thing. All right, so with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kudash, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakatam to you all. Until next time, Shalom.